Let's be honest for a second. House of the Dragon has some of the most stunning production value on television. But as the seasons roll on, certain character arcs have started making viewers scratch their heads. When the plot demands that smart characters suddenly make baffling choices just to keep a war going, it gets frustrating. Today, we're counting down the worst written characters in Westeros, from number 5 to number 1. Breaking down their dominant traits and the narrative missteps that make them fall flat. Let's dive in. Number 5. Rhaena Targaryen. Coming in at number 5, we have the ultimate background dragon rider, Rhaena Targaryen. Why she fails? Her dominant traits in the adaptation are unfortunately defined by narrative sidelining and missed potential. A prime example is how the show builds up her desperate hunt for a dragon, only to completely squander the emotional payoff by reducing her arc to endless walking tours and exposition-free wandering. Instead of developing a distinct personality or active role in the Dance of the Dragons, she is treated like a narrative afterthought, leaving viewers wondering why the writers bothered including her at all if they aren't going to give her anything meaningful to do. Number 4. Jacaerys Velaryon. At number 4, we look at the heir who gets sidelined by his own mother's plot armor, Jacaerys Velaryon. Why he fails? His dominant traits are ambition and practical leadership, but the writing traps him in a holding pattern. A glaring misstep is how Jace brilliantly negotiates the Pact of Ice and Fire with the North, establishing brilliant diplomatic leverage, only for the narrative to immediately sideline his political wins so the adults can make repetitive, cyclical mistakes in King's Landing. The show establishes him as a competent future king, but refuses to let him actually influence the trajectory of the war, making his political momentum feel completely wasted. Number 3. Alicent Hightower, Season 2 arc. Stepping into the number 3 spot is the queen who completely unraveled her own motivations, Alicent Hightower. Why she fails? Her dominant traits of fierce maternal protection and political pragmatism get completely derailed by inconsistent writing. The defining narrative low point is when she secretly slips into Dragonstone to offer up her own son Aegon's execution just to stop a war she spent decades orchestrating. It completely breaks character logic, erasing years of carefully built tension and turning a compelling, complex antagonist into someone who casually betrays her own family for a plot convenience that makes zero strategic sense. Number 2. Criston Cole. Taking the number 2 spot is the most confused man in Westeros, Sir Criston Cole. Why he fails? His dominant traits are supposed to be rigid honor and hardened zealotry, but the execution feels cartoonishly reactive. A prime example is his overnight transformation from a deeply conflicted knight into a bloodthirsty, unhinged commander who suddenly forgets all nuance. The writing relies so heavily on making him a bitter caricature that his motivations become a running joke for the audience, stripping away any genuine psychological depth in favor of melodramatic whiplash. Number 1. Rhaenyra Targaryen, the Inaction Loop. And finally, taking the top spot for the most frustratingly written character, Rhaenyra Targaryen. Why she fails? Her dominant traits of rightfulness and diplomatic caution curdle into sheer narrative paralysis. The most glaring misstep is the repetitive cycle of secret parleys and endless council meetings where she agonizes over prophecy while ignoring obvious tactical moves. The writers keep telling us she is a fierce leader, ready to claim her birthright, but the script traps her in an endless loop of waiting, robbing the show's central protagonist of the proactive drive needed to anchor a massive fantasy epic.
Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe for more videos like this.